Jackie. I am absolutely thrilled to be on Villa. It's a map that I've come to enjoy more and more competitively, and we are finally here. We saw an absolute ton of Villa in stage 1, but then it just seems to have absolutely fallen off a cliff coming into stage 2, and I don't know what the reason for that could be. Maybe the impact of Ace, maybe the impact of Malusi in scrims. We'll have to see if we see them played a lot here, but Villa has certainly taken a bit of a nosedive. It's the first time that we're seeing it this time around, and bands coming in there, nothing too much of a surprise. We've got Monty, Thatcher, Mirror and Valkyrie making up the 4 operators that will be unplayable throughout the duration of Villa, and we will be heading in, starting with the Aviator and Game Room site by the looks of things, which again is pretty much par for the course. Now, Furia, of course, they have just lost on the last map of Clubhouse, so they need to come out strong here.
They do indeed, right? You've got to bite back. Also, because you look at how they performed last season. You know, if you weren't here for the start of the stream, we were talking about the fact that they could almost beat their record from last stage already coming into this play day if they were able to accumulate a nice amount of points. Unfortunately for them, obviously, you fought hard on Clubhouse, but you didn't secure yourself a win. You need to get a win here now. You have to make it an overarching series draw to still give yourself a good running chance in the season. Because if I'm not mistaken, Tim, off the back of this, Santos should lap them and come up to 9th place, leaving Furia in 10th.
Yeah, I think they will do. If Santos get 3 points here, then it will be overall 7 for them, so they will move ahead of Furia, who are currently on 6. Now, still a long way to go for that to happen. Furia have shown us that they are a good side, particularly on the attack. So given that Villa often plays out in the favour of the defenders, it could be an interesting mechanic here to see if Furia can come out strong in the second half on the attack, if they can build themselves a little bit of a lead on the defence, taking advantage of that defender side. It could be promising for them.
Oh, it could be. It very well could be. So early on, obviously for Santos, for me, I feel like they're going to be able to absolutely live it though, coming in on attack. You've got so much opportunity to build yourself a nice bit of a lead. Talking of leading, look who's come into the mix. Amaru's been picked up by Rise. Bit of a cheeky pick. There's times where she can certainly do damage if you want to go for some high-octane gameplay or just potentially be a little bit of a sneaky man. You can do some quite dastardly things with her. We'll see if we get some of those opportunities throughout the course of the round. So right now, we're down to about 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. Hasn't been too much commotion just yet. Slightly slower round coming out from Santos as they are taking their time to gain map control bit by bit.
Still preparation going on effectively there with the mute jammer going down almost a minute into the round, but if the attackers are not knocking at your door, then you can use every single second that is available to you. Now, it looks like there's some pressure mounting there from the trophy statuary side, so I would imagine we're going to see a split push with maybe 1 or 2 attackers pushing in towards the south side, towards Study, to try and make a nuisance over there, whilst Wag and Rise certainly make a nuisance of themselves. Mighty getting in on the action as well, and this is quickly going in the direction of Santos as they manage to come in with a big triple kill. However, Furia put the brakes on them, get one back in return, and find themselves now 2 versus 4 coming into the last 1 minute 20.
Attackers have located a bomb.
I'm loving this. Furia, the position they're in, it's quite risky. Obviously down to 2 versus 4. Santos, fair play to him, Tim. That was a huge execution. A great burst. From nothing into the round, they explode into a cascade of kills. And now they have 60 seconds to mop up the remains of the last 2 players on Furia. Can you take down Burster and Highs and bring yourself a stunning first round? They don't really have to rush things. They've still got a lot of time to work with. Burster, of course, with Big Papa Pump, playing by the vault door. He's really risking it for a biscuit into this one. He extends, though. He goes for the peak. He could have played the angle. When they push in, he would have had a prime opportunity to serve up shotgun soup. Instead, he gets done in. Peaks round, his lips are slapped off. Cypress with a follow-up frag as well towards the pool table. And that is a really nice opening round going the way of Santos. Clean assault there onto the site initially. Those 3 frags they found were fantastic.
Santos certainly belying the odds at the minute. That initial poll, if you remember back on Clubhouse, coming in 80% favouring FURIA there. But Santos showing that they are certainly here to play, taking a big attacking round to begin with. And as I say, FURIA, they need to come out and have a strong defensive phase. It's not something that we have seen from them so far. They haven't really excelled on the defensive side, generally speaking, but they need to here to give themselves that springboard coming in. They don't want to go into the attacking half and although they are better there, they don't want to come in there 2-4 down and having to find those rounds. It being essential to find those rounds just to get themselves back into the game. What they want to do is be going in at least 3-3, if not 4-2 at the advantage, so that they can then push on from there to take this overall.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
I'm loving this though. If they actually maintain this style of pace where they're playing it relatively slow and then just working together for a very, very calculated execution, that's the dream for Santos. It's the best combination of both styles of play that we've seen from them. We've seen them go for really fast, aggressive rounds, where at times it will work out quite nicely. And Scardino, he'll find himself a lovely little entry frag and they can build off the back of it. At other times, they played a very slow defensive style where they'll execute in the late round, they'll try and force out utility. What we saw there was the perfect best of both worlds. Draw out a little bit of utility when you know you have them reeled in, yank that bad boy out of the water, Tim, and get yourself a massive fish.
And a massive fish they got. They are currently stood weighing the fish, ready in round number 2 to take that photograph, but they need to make sure that they don't take their eye off the ball here. They need to just continue that pressure, keep it up, keep on top of FURIA. Don't give them any room now to fight their way back into this matchup. They've got themselves one map on the board. They've got themselves a good advantage coming in here on Villa with the first attacking round, and they just need to keep the pressure on, keep that accelerator down here and keep propelling themselves towards that full 3 points, which would be a massive result for Santos here. There is absolutely no two ways about that. And you can see the droning is going on here. Very thorough from Santos before they move themselves in. They certainly don't ever seem to be running into desperate situations, Jackie, where they're finding themselves significantly outgunned. They always seem well prepared for what they're going into.
No, it's smart. It's a much better style of play, right? They're actually taking their time, spending a lot of time being on cams. We're seeing way more droning that's coming to effect, so they aren't really face-checking anywhere near as much as we saw back in Stage 1. Overall, it feels like the Santos roster have bonded and gelled together an awful lot more. They know their roles, they know what they needed to change, and they have adapted. Coming into round 2, though, once again, it's the same style of execution. Into the late round, they'll look and play for a pick. Split and pick seems to be working so far, as the first man has been split in two. Novice deleted, dropped down to the ground as he'll fall onto the DECK, leaving them in a 4 versus 5 with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Santos, can you keep it up? Or will they slow down too much, Tim? Have they put the handbrake on at the worst possible time?
Certainly starting to look that way. It's just turning into one of those games where no matter what you do, just nothing seems to go in your direction. No gunfight seems to fall your way. And Santos, they've got the top floor control now. They can start opening things up and putting some vertical pressure down onto site. A nice nitro goes out from the pulse, but Wag will shut down Lender. 3 versus 5. You can see that Toxic Babe canister out there. Just doing a little bit of work to slow things down here, but it's going to take more than a couple of Toxic Babes to stop this attack as Santos burst into sight. Mighty shutting down highs. Find ourselves now 5 versus 2. Wag on low health. That's about as bad as it gets for Santos at this point in time. They have control of sight. Bursa will get himself one, but it looks impactless at this point as Wag gets the diffuser down successfully. It is all on the shoulders of Fred. Can he find the first? Yes. Shots in the back. Can he find the second? Looks at the man, does get him down, but it's Cyprus ultimately getting the kill. Onto Fred to shut things out in round 2. Another one going to Santos and FURIA. They need to get themselves into this one quickly. They need to show that they can just dig deep when it really counts.
That's beautiful. Well executed, well timed. Obviously slowing it down when necessary and then really revving it back up towards the end. I wondered if they'd really held off on the speed for too long, but no, they proved me wrong. They play it out amazingly in the final few moments of the round. They pick up, they're winning one of their gunfights, the trades are nice, and at that point you get left in a scenario where there's nothing you can really do. For FURIA, right, they're impactless frags, so just walking around, cleaning up as much as possible, but even with the world's biggest mop and bucket, you can't salvage that mess.
Absolutely not. That's a real janitorial nightmare, Jackie.
Oh, mate, honestly, you'd need more than 2 plungers. You'd have to dual wield them. Akimbo plungers, Tim.
Imagine.
I don't think it.
Imagine
I can't
if
imagine
you
Tim.
can.
Yeah, exactly. You've rinsed me again.
It's going to be difficult to get used to, Jackie, this new information. Oh, heading into round 3, and right now, difficult to get used to is the Santos attack for FURIA. That much is for sure. 2-0 it stands on the scoreboard, and FURIA, they haven't looked anywhere near in either of these rounds, Jackie. If you remember the first minute and a half of round number 1, it just all exploded as Santos got themselves into position and then just leapt forward with 3 huge kills to really decimate the field in front of them. And it just seems to keep continuing. We're heading to trophy and statuary this time around. Now, interestingly, on the side of the defenders, we still don't really have anybody being brought along to drastically slow down the attack. We've got the Goyo, which will, of course, drain utility at least. It does prevent access to an area if you've got the concern of that shield being shot out and doing the fire damage to you. But obviously it depends, you know, you've got to have a line of sight onto it to use that function. But it can slow down. But beyond that, there's not much really going on there. We've not got a Legion brought along, for example, where those goo mines can be played out just to really prevent that sort of rush of an execute coming into sight, which is what Santos seem to want to do. They want to get them encircled, get themselves into the positions, and then just force their way forward quickly.
Now, in terms of what our viewers at home are thinking about this matchup, Tim, obviously, if you remember back on the opening map of Clubhouse, it was 80% of the fan vote going to FURIA. This time around, it's 63% of the vote going to FURIA. Still, only 32% believing in Santos to win their map pick. Keep that in mind as well. This is their home territory. They've already had an upset win on Clubhouse.
1 minute 40 left on the round. 5 versus 5, and FURIA seeming to manage to keep themselves in this one a little bit better. But as I've suggested, once again, Santos just starting to get them encircled now, and will look towards an execute soon. Now here come the kills. Fred and Novice managed to get 2 for themselves. These are bouncing backwards and forwards right now. FURIA, ultimately, they come out on top of the pile this time as everything tumbles around them, and WAG will be shut down by Novice at the end of round 3 there. FURIA, they finally get themselves on the board here defensively, and we know, Jackie, that they have struggled defensively previously, but for me, they have to find themselves another 2 here. They need to go in level so that they can really put that attacking prowess to its full advantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's got to be the outcome. And honestly, I'd throw it out there right now, Tim, and just say I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this end once again in a 3-3 split at the end of the half. These two teams are so evenly matched. It feels like that was the storyline the entire time on Clubhouse, where it was incredibly back and forth. They'd win a round, you'd win a round, we'd trade consistently. It's like kids in a schoolyard playing with Pokemon cards, Tim. It's all about the trades. And at this point, right, we're looking at the same sort of storyline. You come in with the opening 2 rounds. FURIA bite back on the defense. They get themselves 1. And that was played so much better as well. Consistently smart decision making. I love the play coming out from Highs on the smoke as well, hiding inside his own smoke, knowing he could just sit in the angle to trick them into thinking he wasn't there. You turn around the corner, and what do you know? You've got a shotgun barrel down your face.
And that is not something that you want in your face, Jackie. Let me tell you now, a shotgun barrel in the face is never going to be ideal. It is rarely going to be anything but a serious problem.
Oh, mate, I mean, you know, also, it's not really personal space, is it? You know, a shotgun barrel, it doesn't work.
There's no social distancing going on there, is there?
No, I mean, that's what's going to happen to your body once the shotgun goes off.
Plenty of social distancing from yourself.
I just hope that Santos, they're not going to let this game get too far distant from the position it is already in, right? You're leading. You're in a good spot. First 2 rounds, they were really clean as well. We gave them props for that. It was a nice control of momentum. They executed when they need to. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't too slow. They did a good job of baiting out utility. Obviously, mistakes were made into the prior round because they did have so much utility left. You look at Highs again. He's still on the smoke. He's got those cans to play with. You do not want to be breathing in that toxic gas. If you allow him to have all 3 canisters, even 2 canisters into that last sort of 45 seconds, Tim, you are going to pay costly because of it.
Novice desperately looking around to try and get himself an early peek there. Cyprus it will be, however, to get the opener onto Lender. So that now leaves us 4 versus 4 as Bursa will get in with one onto Wag and a second for himself onto Scardenia. Great kills there from Bursa. Rise gets one for himself onto Novice and Cyprus joins the party. And once again, nobody can take any serious control. It just bounces back and forward. Highs ultimately trading out Cyprus in the mix-up there. And that leaves us now 2 versus 2 after we come out of the far side of what can only be described as an absolute blender in the site there. Just people losing limbs left, right and centre. And now 2 versus 2. Rise on super low health. He is 1 bullet away from death. Mighty, he's less than 1 bullet as he finds 1 in his cranium from Fred. And that now leaves us 2 versus 1. Super low for Rise. He has to play this perfectly. And that deployable shield is not going to make this any easier. He knows there's a man behind there. He's just going to hold fire now. Even 1 breath of those toxic babe canisters will be enough to put Rise into the dirt. He sneaks around, Fred's alive to the danger, shuts down the man on the prone and closes out the round. Furia, they level things up and all of a sudden, Jackie, they've woken up.
There he is, big man himself. We said if you're looking out for Fred to prop off, then it's when he's on his defensive side. That's where he's at his best. He can really hit his shots, and he's proved that there. A tasty angle, peeks round, hits the bullet, and ends the round. 2-2, all tied up. In the position I think we expected it to go to. And this really shapes up for a quality half coming out here, Tim, now. Because the storyline gets interesting, right? You've got the opportunity for it to be split down the middle again, mirroring what we had on Clubhouse, where it was as close as it physically can be. Or you can take the final 2 rounds, give yourself a huge stepping stone, where if you come out strong on your attack, if Furia pick up these next 2, they would be in a massive position to get the upset win here, taking Santos's map pick against them.
Oh, I think, as I said at the beginning, this could be massive if Furia can get a good defensive half under the belt. We've seen them do well on attack. We know that players like Novice and Lender, they are going to come in and get opening kill after opening kill and give Furia every opportunity to do well and to finish it off. So right now, yep, the next couple of rounds, extremely important if you are Santos. You need to be finding a way to get at least one of these on the board to get yourself onto defense. Now, we've also seen Santos reasonably strong on defense. It has been the stronger side sometimes, but Clubhouse, I know that they did struggle a little bit on defense. So we'll see how it plays out when they switch sides, but I'm sure they're going to be looking to get this one over the line as soon as possible.
That's a cheeky little spawn peek as well. Oh, playing with an angle, but it's come back to bite him. That has not worked out well whatsoever. Mozzie has been made a mockery there. He went for the spawn peak, looking over towards Ruins, but Tim, quite frankly, he has been ruined. Shot in the face, dead down on the ground. That's a sick way to open up the round here for Santos, and that will fuel you with confidence as well. It means you can play with a tempo more now. You don't have to approach it in the slower style. You can speed things up. You've got the first pick. If you effectively play the trade game here and group with a buddy system, playing in those 2 versus 1s, you can completely flip this round on its head already. Furia have to turtle now. They can't afford to run any risks.
As you say, it's always a roll of the dice. It's easy to criticise losing a man so early in the round, but you've just got to think about what happens if that goes the other way. If Novice does pick up that opener, then all of a sudden you're saying Furia, they've come from 2 down and could well be going into the advantage just based on that. So it's a risk that is often worth taking. Lender will get himself 1, but then immediately traded out by Mighty. So that now leaves us in a 4 versus 3, and the pressure is starting to mount towards the site here. We can see Santos are starting to get some control, and it's something they did very well last time. But once again, Fred, he manages to wriggle away from bullets that are raining down on him and get some of his own back into Scardenia. So that levels things up, all squared away. 3 versus 3 now. It's just slowing Santos down a little bit, but then Mighty, he hits the gas once again, moves into sight, gets a free kill onto Highs, and Wag starts to get that diffuser down. The kills will rain in, but not before the diffuser is activated. This is now a big ask for Furia. We can see the man there just hiding his way back down on those closet stairs, trying to make things Tricky on the angle for the players moving back in on the retake. We can see just jiggling left, right, centre, trying to get any view they can. Use the utility shut down there, and surely now this is a round going in favour of Santos and Furia. If they want to level things off on the half, they are going to have to look towards round number 6 in order to do it. It's all down to Fred. He's going to have to stick this. He has no choice. The time has ticked away. Wag shuts him down on the doorway. Santos taking round number 5.
Oh, man. You called it, Tim. That round was tricky, and his only play was to run DMC his way out of there if he wanted to stay alive. Couldn't save the KD, couldn't save the round. Goes for a bit of a bold play, swings in, looking for an impactless frag, and won't get anything because of it. And that's the way it's going to go down. Looks like we are having a bit of a rehost with this one. Must have had a player issue there. Not to worry, of course, it shouldn't take too long. Again, I've been done with the lights, Tim. I'm too slow today. I'm not on it. I'm not on the lights.
Well, I've given you the top tips, Jackie. I've told you how I've got my setup. I've got all my lights on one switch, you see, so then bang, in we go. Unfortunately, I don't have my glasses on one switch, so that's what I usually miss.
You know, that'd be brilliant. That'd be like a Wallace and Gromit-esque sketch where all you do is just press the power button with your toe. You know, lights come on, glasses get flown into your face. You got some toast ready on the side just in case.
Obviously, with a bit of cheese on there, I'd imagine, some Wensleydale.
Oh, smashing, Timothy. Something else that is smashing as well, of course. If you are a fan of Rehost Riddles, whilst we've got a little bit of downtime in this second map, you know what? We prepared one earlier. Are you up for it, Tim?
Always up for it, Jackie. Always ready.
Oh,
need to improve that counter.
To hear. You do. How are you doing right now, counter-wise? I think we'll have it pop up once Simon brings it on. That sounds about right. Right, Tim. What English word has 3 consecutive double letters?
3 consecutive double letters.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if that's a literal question or a play on words now. What English word has 3 consecutive double letters? You see, straight away, my brain's gone to balloon, but obviously that doesn't. But I'm just working in the right direction.
Yeah,
we've got 2 doubles there, so we're heading on in.
You're kind of on the right track. Like, I'll give you that. You kind of get in there.
Kind of on the right track.
It's not train. It's not.
No,
it's nothing to do with trains.
I was thinking more around balloon. Right, okay. Double O, double N. Sorry, double L, double O in balloon. I mean, I'm gonna assume that you don't mean with the specific word there. That you just mean obviously on the right. That we are looking literally for a word with 3 consecutive double letters.
Yeah, quite
That's
literally.
what I'm quite literally. And I think it must be similar sounds. There's going to have to be a double O as part of that, surely.
I'll give you that. You are right. You are right. There is a double.
There's going to have to be a double O in there. You see now, I've got a word with 3 sets of double letters.
Right.
No, I don't. Ignore me.
You'd be really good on countdown, Tim.
I'd be terrible. I'd be an absolute nightmare. Give me the maths one. I could do that, but forget it. Okay. Tough one, Jackie.
Yeah. Have you not got it? Is it not coming to you? Are the grey gears not spinning up enough today?
Not consecutively.
Ooh.
There's a double O in there. See, I feel like if there's a double O, there must be... There's not many consonants that you really get as double letters, to be fair. L is obviously one. No, you've got me with that one.
You're trying so hard tonight as well. You put so much effort into that one. I feel like you've been rinsed because this is the least punniest of them all. This is like an actual,
this seems quite literal, yeah. It's quite literal. It's just an actual question. I think that there could be a double L and a double O still. I know I went with balloon earlier, but I'm just thinking of combinations of consonants, and there's not really many that you tend to get 2 of together. Like, for instance, you don't tend to get 2 B's together, or you don't, 2 C's together. You don't tend to get double consonants like that.
Well, look, I tell you what, Tim. The countdown clock, it's gone over. It's finished. It's got back to the start. Your chance of getting that countdown teapot, mate, it's over. You're never going to get the teapot. But I tell you what you will get.
Oh, Jackie, this is what we should have made for the stream. Imagine the merch opportunity.
What, a rehost riddle teapot?
No, do you know what I mean by a Toby jug?
No.
You will know. Like the mugs that look like a person's face.
Oh, actually, I do know. Yeah.
It's like a bit of an old English thing, I think.
Yeah, my mum had loads of them.
Imagine one like that of your head with your beard and everything.
All right. Well, we give that out to anyone that gets the rehost riddles right.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. We'll see. Maybe key rings. We'll give those out to anyone that gets it right on Twitter. If you did get it right, hashtag rehost riddles. Hit me up on Twitter at Jackie Esports, at Ace of Pyrite, and let us know. The answer, though, Tim, was, of course, bookkeeper.
That's a tough one to get. Double O, double K, double E. Yeah, that's... See, I thought that there was going to be 2 double vowels in there. But to think that there's a double K in a word, that is a tough one, that.
Is that throwing you off?
Throw me right off the kilter, that one.
Ooh. Give your head a wobble. See if you can, get back into the siege mode, Tim, as we've got all 10 players in the lobby, and it seems like we can luckily take a holiday to get over the holiday that has been the rehost riddle segments, because it seems like you need a break.
I certainly do need a break. I need to obviously have a breather and just reset the old grey gears.
Yeah, get them turning again. We'll get in there with one of those portable car batteries. Give it a jump start.
I'm yet to see one of those in action, Jackie. I'll take your word for it fully that they exist, but yet to see one in action.
Right, well, you will see this, a lovely horizon. As we return to the game, of course, we're back on Villa. FURIA taking on Santos. These are the teams that are duking it out. And in terms of the position we're in, it's a 3-2 split on the scoreline. FURIA, they're on the worse for wear side, coming out in their last attempt here on their defense, Tim, to see if they can deny this going 4-2 and potentially get it back into a 3-3 split.
That's exactly what they need to do, in my opinion. If they can come away even on the half, they've got a real opportunity on the attack. As we say, if we can see Novice and Lender really get themselves rolling, they've both got kills on the board so far. You won't be able to see that, obviously, coming back in on the rehost, but they have been involved. They just need to step up and go that little bit bigger when they get onto the attack. And we certainly know that they've got that in the locker. We need them to get in and start really ramping up that entry game, giving FURIA the advantage, giving them every opportunity to close things out. But round number 6 is where we will find ourselves now. It is Santos's final attacking round, and it's going to be in trophy statuary. So we have seen this site played out previously back in round number 3, and it was a FURIA win. It was a successful defense, and I'm sure that's going to give them some confidence, and they need to build on that now. Interestingly, Bursa brings the clash, so keep an eye out for that. Let's see exactly what impact that shield has, whether it can slow down the Santos attack.
Attackers must locate and defuse.
Will it be able to slow down the speed? Like a speed bump in a residential area, Tim. As opposed to just in, a commercial area, I suppose.
I mean, you do get them in all areas, Jackie, all areas. But
I think you do. They don't discriminate, speed bumps.
Absolutely not, but being removed more and more these days. There's been studies and comments with regards to a potential increase in emissions, I think, because obviously cars slow down and speed up, and it increases only a fractional amount, but if you do that, thousands of times, it can, I think, increase emissions potentially. It's certainly one argument that I've seen.
Oh, interesting. Also, there's a lot of damage to suspension as well. If you go too fast, that can be quite dangerous. So there you go. Speed bumps bad. Santos and FURIA good. Round 6, 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain into this one. We haven't had a frag just yet. Of course, no early entry coming out, but this man might be the one attempting to find one. It's Gardenia. Very effective when it comes to his early aggression when he is on the entry. It's their last round on attack here, and if there was ever an opportunity for him to really blow the roof off of a round, I wouldn't be surprised if it was soon. He should have an inkling of what has gone on there. As you can see, peering behind the vault door, of course, realizing that Fred was in close proximity, trying to hold on the angle, and now scarpering away to link back with the rest of FURIA closer towards site.
FURIA really need to get themselves off to a good start here. We can see pressure mounting into 90 corridor now. The Magnet will suck up some of that utility to begin with, and we can see their Lender just dips himself away to avoid the rest that is raining in. His deployable shield will still be in service, so that is a good start for him. He can start to make challenges onto this 90 corridor, and it will hold Scardenia up for the time being, but what he does need to be careful of is Cyprus on the overlap, trying to move in through Aviator Games. If he does that, he could split these two in half, the Clash and the Wamai, and that could be very, very dangerous. It could lead to a quick double. So on that Clash, Bursa needs to be alert to that danger, potentially pushing in from behind him.
50 seconds remain. Santos, they need to go for their execution soon. Summer device going out to try and tear down the shield. Talking of which, look at the size of this one. Bursa with a big sheet of perspex, blocking off any incoming bullets, and ready to try and make this one a little bit more electrifying. 30 seconds now, Tim. They have to execute. They're running out of time, and they're really going to be left up creek without a paddle if they don't find their way past Gardena. The breaching device would knock up the shield for a temporary amount of time. Fred, though, on the flank finds himself a critical kill as he vanishes away through another man. Cypress on the trade will find himself a second, but it's not looking good. Lender lending a massive helping hand to the side of Furia as he guns them all down. Whack! A 1v2. They are low. This is winnable, but he's got 8 seconds. He needs to attack now as he turns the corner. It's not going to go down the way he wanted it to. Furia, they clean up. Lender popping off into the round. Wamai hitting him with a whammy. That is a big play from Lender.
Huge play from Lender, huge plays from Furia, exactly what they needed, leveling things up on the board, and now they need to really aggress forward. They need to take the leash off Novice and Lender, get them inside that map, get their boots on the ground and let them absolutely run rampant, let them just go wild all over Santos right now. They just need that explosive moment now. Good replay coming in here. You can see Fred with a great kill to start us off there, but ultimately it was the finish that did it for Furia. They were very solid on that round.
Oh, yeah. Like, the actual backstab was pivotal, right? It's a lurk frag that matters so much, and then off the back of it, they were just able to run away with things as Lender just clutches at straws continuously. Picks himself up back-to-back frags that saved the round, and all in all, Tim, potentially saved not only the half, but the game here, right? We were saying they need to have a very good run. At least we wanted them to secure 3 rounds on their defensive side, so they're in a pretty good position coming out here into round 7 off the back of the side swap. They do that. They secure what was required of them. Now you're plopped onto your attack. Here's my one caveat to them now being in a position where they could actually take the whole game. Novice on the entry, back on Ash. I don't really feel like we saw the true Novice over on Clubhouse. He wasn't given the chance to get into it. There was a lot of rehosts. There was about 3 rehosts in the game. They plagued him when he was on his attacking side, Tim. Hopefully the game will remain secure and stable going forward. He's on his attack now. He needs to come out with impact frag after impact frag. If Novice doesn't play well now, they're really going to be in a bad position on their attack.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you right now. They need to hope for a bit of stability inside of this game, as you say, just so that they can build some momentum. Furia winning their last defensive round. If they can come out here, get Novice running, and really get themselves onto the strong front foot now, put in 2 rounds together, start chaining a few, and really apply the pressure to Santos. I think that's where we will see the success coming from for Furia, is by putting Santos under the hammer. If they allow them to remain comfortable and keep in touch throughout this, then that's where Santos could probably just find themselves staying in the game and just keeping themselves alive and maybe even sneaking it, just pinching it at the end there. We know that Villa can be strong defensively, so it really is going to take a performance from Furia here, but I think they are an attacking side that have it in them.
All right, well, let's see how it's going to go down. My curiosity is peaked as well, looking over towards Rise, obviously coming out on the clash, right? Again, it's a smart play to make. It worked against you. It slowed you down massively. Why not adopt it? Bring it into play. Copy that move and bring her out. She's a fantastic operator if you're given a chance to play her, but the operation from Mighty is much more of a surgical one, busting out the scalpel and cutting apart the entire roster of Furia, leaving them down with a 3 versus 5 now. As there is a trade found, it is back onto Cypress, so he's not exactly having an oasis of a game here in the opening round, but it still does favour Santos for now, Tim.
Certainly does. One man's difference is easily closed down, but Furia, they need to find themselves a kill, and that is not going to help them as Scardenia shuts down Novice with a headshot as he tries to peek around the corner, just absolutely alive and alert and ready for the danger. Now Mighty gets himself one, but Fred will get that in a trade, leaving him in a 1 versus 3. Time is on his side at the minute. He's got plenty of seconds to work with. 1 minute we are coming up to left on the clock. He's going to get the diffuser in hand as well and start taking out some utility, giving himself some options. He can open up the floor a little bit above him and just see what happens. I think that was actually a little bit of a mistake there. It wasn't an explosive grenade that came out. It was the stun grenade, so it just bounced off and we heard it detonate a few seconds later, so that won't open up any vertical angle for him. But he's using exactly what he can. He's every angle, every peak that he's got to his advantage, he will try it now. Just pressuring those side stairs, still burning utility. And right now, that's 30 seconds. Not wasted necessarily, but without much progress. And he really needs to be finding some kills now, does Fred.
Fred, The bread himself.
To go.
The Baguette Banisher. Will he be able to get himself a couple of pivotal kills here? Or will he be toast into the round, Tim? Not really going to be able to move his way through the doorway at all, as obviously he's blocked off by the shield and the electricity. But luckily he's put out of his misery. Wag charging around the corner with the SMG, slaps him up the side of the face, and does quite literally smoke him.
Having the clash still up against him just doubled the difficulty factor of that one. When you've got 1 versus 3 and one of those has a massive shield in front of them, it is always going to be difficult, because how do you deal with it? Essentially, he'd already used his lifeline, so he wasn't able to dislodge the shield himself. But as soon as you try to deal with that clash, you're just going to get shut down from behind, because the comms is going to be such that you're calling for that collapse onto the final attacker. So first defensive round going to Santos. They will successfully lock down Aviator Games Room, and that will leave us heading into Trophy and Statuary now for round number 8. And I tell you now, FURIA don't have too much longer to go at this one, Jackie. They need to start finding themselves some rounds. I'm still confident that they can do that on the attack, but it needs to be sooner rather than later.
And I think that time frame is now, really, right? Round 8 is where you have to come out strong. Again, it's got to follow the trend that we've been talking about the entire time, where it does go back and forth. Santos claim a round, you need to claim a round. These two teams are so evenly matched. As soon as one of them starts to build themselves a pathway towards the finish line, you have to get in front of them. You've got to be able to knock them off kilter immediately. And I don't know, it's getting a bit worrying here for FURIA. Once again, of course, the fan vote was massively in favour of FURIA, Tim. We had 80% back in the first map. Fair play, that was their map pick on Clubhouse. They were bested. Coming into this map, the second bout in the series, they had 63% of the fan vote, Tim. And right now, they are trailing behind by 1 round on their attacking side. This is where Santos, they're setting themselves up for success. They get another clean round, especially if they play it in the manner they did last time, where they had 2 opening frags, 2 early entry kills, mere seconds into the round. You're going to find yourself clamoring at straws to try and get back into the game here. And at that point, I think they've probably secured it if they get themselves to 5.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think entry is an interesting point that you pick up on. Right now, FURIA need to be going in and getting themselves that advantage. At the end of the day, Villa is a big map, and you don't want too many players out there roaming and with the potential for flanks, and there's a lot of areas to watch. It really does take a big distraction. And now, Novice, he will get exactly that entry kill onto Wag. We also see Lender just avoiding a nitro there. It does a tickle of damage to him, but nowhere near enough. And that leaves us now FURIA 5 versus 4. And they have secured another kill as Lender shuts down Cyprus. 2 on the round for him. And we've picked out Novice, we've picked out Lender, particularly on those opening battles. And right now, this is exactly what FURIA need from them.
A huge way to start off the round. Where's the big finale? How's it going to go down with a firework show from FURIA? Can they maintain this pace? We've got 1 minute and 35 seconds left on the clock. 3 players for Santos. A triple threat of players. Scardina and Mighty are still alive, and they're 2 big impact fraggers if they're given an opportunity to frag. They were nearly gunned down. Scardina lucky to be alive, taking bullets to the rear as he turns the corner, dives out of position, keeps his heart pounding for at least a few more seconds. And seconds is all that remains, really. We're nearly down to the final 60. Mighty getting close contact, but can't win the encounter, as Fred will overthrow him on the Zofia, and this is where it gets rough. It all relies on Rise and Scardina to clutch it. They've got clear-cut info. They know exactly where they are as the drones go in and the bullets start to riddle through them. Scardina, flanking around, has no idea where they are at this point. He's in such a horrible position and could be sideswiped from the left. Oh, Novice as well, clearing the stairway as they'll knock him off his feet and secure a round for FURIA. A perfect round to boot.
That is exactly what we expect to see out of the FURIA attack. That is the FURIA attack that I was expecting to come forward. We know that they can deliver. We've seen them do that previously. They just need to find a way now to increase that consistency and do it round after round until they are able to shut this map down. 4-all, we find ourselves once again. It was exactly the same on Clubhouse. We always knew that this was going to be a close, hard-fought matchup, and these two teams are absolutely delivering on that. There is no 2 ways about it.
Of course, getting a glimpse of some of these lovely little replays. A beautiful addition. We get some of the nice little zoom ins. We always get those slow mos. We get some cheeky little compilations that come out of Jacob, our replay op. He's a good lad, Tim, isn't he? He works
Well, he
hard.
looks after us.
He does indeed.
Looks after us fantastically, picking up on all those important players, and then we get to watch them back. It's wonderful, and puts together some nice little replay packages for the end of the night as well. Always make sure you stick around for those. We have some replays that play out, the best that we've seen throughout the play day, so always worth a little bit of your time as well.
It is indeed. Now, looking at the position we're in, though, this is also quite lovely. It's put us into a good position of the game because it's going to be very competitive. It's 4-4. It's looking more like Clubhouse the longer this one goes on. Again, though, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, harking on about it and consistently bringing it up, Tim, but I'm always looking at Novice. I'm always glancing towards that top left side of my monitor and just wondering where those impact frags are, where the kills have been. You know, obviously, we've had those rehosts. He's come back in. I need to see him getting these frags on the attack. I think that's still one of the missing pieces. He has 2 kills to his name at the minute. We need to see him getting to a flying start and building more, especially here into round 9 when the game is so close and there's been mistakes from FURIA. He is one of those players that has to step up to give them the extra lift they need.
Oh, he could be a difference maker. That's exactly it. He could just come in, we know, with a 3-4K and just completely shut a round down. But also, it's not just about the individual round. It's about the confidence that you give your team. If one of these teams, whoever makes it onto 5 now, they start feeling like, right, we want away. We want away from locking in at least part of the result that we need. They are first and foremost focusing, let's get that 6 on the board so that we've got an opportunity to close this down. Now, Lender, he comes out, big opener once again onto Wag, giving FURIA the advantage. And right now, Santos, they're going to start feeling a little bit beaten up because they're starting to lose in those entry battles. It was a flawless round last time out, so that is now 6 kills in a row without Santos answering back with any of their own. And there's only so long that you can take that before it starts to become a real mental block. And FURIA, by contrast, they will thrive on that. They will grow into this map. They will just really go from strength to strength.
Losing Wag early on. It'd be costly. Obviously, Malusi, once you get those Banshees down, again, she's another operator where you can be a little bit of a freebie. You can be a bit of a throwaway if you want to go on the roam. She's a free speed, so it's worth the risk if you feel like you can net your team some early success. Obviously, if you fall out, you don't really get anything for it. That's where it is going to punish you the later a round goes on. We're coming up to that position now. About 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and really, for Santos, you have to find a pick back. There is a drone going in, Novice behind it. Thought he might have tried to just follow it through straight on the hot drone and looking for an early kill. But Cypress has the angle. He runs in reloading as well. He had his breaching device out to him. I don't know if he didn't realize he was fully exposed, but he's completely out there. Oh, he's just given away the goose. He's been gunned down. You're brought back into a 4v4 with 45 seconds left. Now this round looks a whole lot more competitive. You know the Nomad's there. You've just seen the air jabs getting shot across. There is a fighting chance for either side into this. Santos, they have every angle covered. They've got utility left. Rise still has the sanguine arsenic canisters left. He's dashing them out one by one, Tim. Just burning time off the clock. They're going to have a field day.
Novice absolutely handing himself on a plate to them there, as you say. Just seemed to be unaware of just exactly how much he was exposing himself. Cypress gets a second from the same location, this time onto highs, and it's all starting to fall apart for FURIA on the astronomy stairs as Mighty shuts down Lender, and we find ourselves now 2 versus 4, 10 seconds left to go, and this round is done. Santos will get the kill onto Fred. It's all down to Bursa. He's not even going to push this angle. There's absolutely no point. They will just be using this time to have a chat, try to level things out as a team, get on the comms and see what they can do going forward. Round to Santos. They take the advantage once again. They are looking for those 2 or 3 points here, Jackie, and only one more round is needed for them to secure at least the 2.
Man, it's the play from Novice, Tim. It's rough as well, right? Because I don't want to sound like I'm just targeting him when I'm bringing it out. I think we do actually have a replay of this. We'll see what this entails as we do roll it through. If this is the peak I'm talking about, yeah, it is the play. Look, you can see him going around, arm up in the air. He is reloading the breaching device, it looks like. He fired out that first shot. Seemed like he wanted to get the second one back in, loading in that shell into the grenade launcher. And he's launched the round into the hands of Santos, effectively. It's rough, man. He was so clean on the entries. Back when we saw him on Playday 1 on Consulate, he looked like a true star player for the team, and it felt like he was going to be topping the scoreboard game after game. Coming into this, that's a hefty mistake to lose out on. It gives them an advantage into what otherwise was a very winnable round, Tim.
And the thing is, it's easy to look at that situation and think, well, it's a real pixel peak from Cyprus, and we've got to give him his due there. He's got a fantastic kill for himself. But the reason that we're criticising Novice's movement there is because what he's heading into is a danger zone. Effectively, he's exposing himself directly to sight, and he knows that. He knows that he's heading in to an area that is dangerous. He's not undercover at that point. So if you are going to move in there, you've at least got to be in your ADS and ready to challenge. You can't be going in there, as you rightly say, Jackie, reloading either your main weapon, your gadget, your second, I don't care what it is that you're reloading. You reload in Aviator games, and then you move forward. You can't push forward like that into that position without being able to at least fight back or try to challenge an angle. If he goes in there pre-firing the master bedroom doorway, he doesn't necessarily get the kill onto Cyprus, but it's not going to allow Cyprus to pick him up with a one-tap like that.
Yeah, dude, you literally have to have your gun out in that position. Also, the bit that baffles me a little bit more is I'm pretty sure they droned it as well, so they knew. I don't know, Tim. That's a rough one. That's a big question mark. And obviously that aside, it puts Santos into this position, a position that is going to be absolutely fantastic. You're sat at 5 rounds. You need one more to guarantee a draw. At that point, you've already won Furia's map pick, and then you can draw at the very worst on your own map pick. Oh, look at Scardina drawing his weapon and drawing a massive cross onto the scoreboard over the face of Fred. He's busted him wide open once again. Now here comes the issue. For Furia, they were loving it when they had the clash on their side. But the tables have turned, Tim. Santos are the ones rocking the big shielded lady now. And what are you going to do when she's blocking the stairway?
And how the tables do turn. That opening kill just looking even more important as you discuss Clash. It's Sophia that has gone, and that is your main method of moving that Clash's shield away from her face. You are limited now to trying to get the approach. Now, I'm not sure that he knows there's a man on the close angle, and Cyprus will shut him down in the CQC, taking Lender off the board. 5 versus 3, and Santos, they are cruising towards another round win here, and this round win will guarantee them 2 points. It will guarantee them moving level with Furia in the standings. It would put them on 6 points apiece in the league table, but Santos, they won't be happy with 2 from this. They are going to be seeking, searching, looking, trying to find that 7th round. You can guarantee it, and right now they are looking good for it. Furia seem to really have built a little bit of momentum after they got themselves onto the attack. They lost the first one, but then they got that great flawless round in round number 8, but they just haven't been able to back it up at all.
Defender is approaching a kill zone.
Oh, this is so rough, right? You've got nearly 40 seconds left at this point. If you walk through the doorway, there is a dormant waiting, and this bouncer is aggro, Tim. Swings wide. Scardina the slasher, cutting up the first man as he skengmans his way through Novice and looks to clean up with the final 2 frags. They have basically 20 seconds left to make a 2 versus 5 happen. Scratch that. Much like Burst has been scratched from existence, it's a 1 versus 5. Highs is the only one standing, and he has a very high chance of being blown to bits. Scardina dashes out the nitro and secures them a perfect round. Santos are gunning for a 2-0 victory tonight. That's an upset win as well. If they walk away with both of these maps under their belt, Tim, that's huge.
It really is. No 2 ways about it. You know, leapfrogging Furia in the standings there and just taking full. The thing is, Furia, they've just been very flash in the pan tonight, Jackie, and that's what I'm starting to think play day 1 was. They've just not been able to carry any real consistency. We see them come out and they'll have 1 or 2 big rounds and they'll come out fantastically and get a flawless round, but then they just can't back it up. They just can't keep it rolling. They just can't keep moving with it. And Santos, they are not being rocked at all. No matter what comes their way, no matter what blows Furia seem to rein in a round or 2, Santos, they certainly don't have a glass jaw, Jackie. They're taking these ones right on the chin and just pushing back, aggressing and picking up the rounds.
Oh, mate. It's rough, isn't it? You look at them, and you're absolutely right. They can take a pounding and just roll with it. And into that, they didn't even need to. Furia, they were throwing out fist after fist, and it was like the storm of fists. But the issue is, they just kept missing. They weren't connecting. They weren't giving them the entries. And bit by bit, it all fell to pieces. And they might be left in pieces. dashed on the floor if Santos can get one final round. That's all that they're required to do, and they've made a bit of a bold change, one that we definitely like to highlight whenever we get to see it, Tim. Look who has busted out the big man himself. Oryx is in play, and Scardina's the one in charge.
And we know what he can do with him. If you didn't see it back in stage 1, Scardina had the absolute poster play for Oryx. He was on a downstairs roam on the trophy statuary site. Jumps himself back up through the hatch, gets 1, rotates through a soft wall, gets 2, much like Rise has just done. 2 on the shotgun, make it 3. He has come in huge for Santos, and the wheels are well and truly off for Furia right now. They have been derailed on Villa, and this is surely the end of the journey for them. It's time to collect their luggage, Jackie. It's time for them to step off the train, because they have reached the terminus. They are surely going to be shut down now. Novice, he manages to get one back. 2 versus 4, 2 minutes on the clock, but surely still too much is being asked of Furia here. This is going to be a massive round for Santos as they look to secure 3 on the board. Now, in comes the pressure. Cyprus gets Novice. It's 1 versus 4, and this is surely the final seconds. There comes Sardinia on the Oryx. Picks up the knife kill to finish us off in round 11, and that is going to be a full 3-point win for Santos, and that 80% vote isn't looking too good now, Jackie.
Oh, what a cheeky git. He drops his way down through the hatch, Tim, and slaps him in the face to secure the victory. Oh, they were going out with a win anyway, but he's done it in style. The man has lived his movie on Oryx. It might not be as cinematic as the last play we saw him make on Villa on that operator, but I tell you what, it's one that's definitely going to be sticking in Fred's mind for a very long time.
I love how he just